a lot of hard stuff goes into living that soft life, but nobody shows the hard. But then you have like this whole generation of women who are rising up and saying, look, you can be fighting for whatever you're fighting for. Me, I'm not even interested in this hard. Like, I just want to relax and be taken care of. That's the word.
Yeah, and there's also like this stereotype too that women who have beautiful lives have their lives funded by men.
Mm.
Honestly, I find it really effective.
Tune in to hear Muslim women talking back like never before. This is the HSM TribeCast.
Hi guys, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the High Street Muslima TribeCast, the podcast for Muslim women by Muslim women. My name is Khadija. Today's episode is all shades of demure, very mindful, and we have an amazing guest to do justice to the conversation. I call her a soft babe, premium minister of enjoyment, halal enjoyment. So good to have you, Sumaya. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's exciting.
Are you sure?
Pretty much. I like having conversations around Islam, around Muslim women, and I love the introduction you just gave because we need to like have more spaces that are very inclusive for us.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, Sumaya, aka Lady Soteria, is an author, a content creator,
Yes.
self-acclaimed connoisseur
Of the soft
of
life.
halal, of the soft life, halal enjoyment. So I'm very excited to have you. So I'll start from the most natural question. Obviously, all about enjoyment. Tell me one indulgent thing you did this week.
Okay. So this week, I went shopping for my friend's wedding, and I was like, "Oh, this is all about this baby girl. I'm just buying things for her." And I go to the store. It was a lingerie store, and I was like, "I don't have this one, and I don't have this one."
Are you sure?
And I don't have this one.
Are you sure you
I was
don't
like-
have it? Or
What's better than buying lingerie for your friend?
buying for yourself?
Twinning the lingerie, So I bought like the same thing for myself. Yeah.
I'm very curious, Lady Soteria. So that's your handle on Instagram.
Yes.
She has quite a following, by the way. But I'm very like, what is Soteria, Lady Soteria? What is that? Tell me about the name.
Okay, I get this question a lot. So Soteria was born out of desperation. Like I had this obsession with salvation and the whole idea of like being saved by God or religion and all of that. But it just sounded really tacky to say, "Oh, my Instagram handle is salvation." Like who does that? So I was like, and then I had like this Greek name already. Esther, it means a star. So I'm like, okay.
Oh.
I think like when you look at the Greek version of things, it always just sounds much nicer and, what's the word now? Elite or yeah. So I went to look for the Greek name for salvation, and it was Soteria.
Oh,
Like,
it's
lady.
a Greek.
Yeah, I'm like
Interesting.
Lady Soteria has a nice ring to it.
It does have a very nice ring to it.
And that's been my handle since 2015 on Instagram, actually.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
nice. So in terms of like, I think there's probably a lot of things that people don't know about you.
Yeah.
So don't worry, I'm not asking you to divulge your secrets. Okay. But tell us like 2 truths and 1 lie about Lady Soteria.
Okay. Oof. One, I don't have a 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
2, I like beads in all forms, like beads in shoes, beads on bags, beads in hair, beads as jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
And 3, 2 truths and 1 lie, right?
Yeah.
And 3, I have a kid.
Oh, that's tough.
I know.
I don't know if. Okay, I'm going to go with the last one. I might be wrong.
Okay. Oh, you're correct.
I think that's
actually.
the lie.
Yes,
Nice. But you plan to? Do you plan to have some? Because some people are not interested in having kids.
Okay.
It doesn't go with the aesthetic.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, I can't believe I just said that.
For now, I like the way my life is. I mean, challenges I have now, very used to them.
Mm-hmm.
Very much, a fan of the challenges I have now. Children bring on a whole different kind of challenges.
I agree.
You understand? So yeah, it's still something that we're discussing, thinking about, and planning around. So yeah.
Oh, well, much whenever it comes,
Yeah.
alhamdulillah.
Inshallah. Yeah.
So, the one thing that I've heard, like, the few minutes that we've been here, and you're just being on your Instagram, this whole soft life,
Yeah.
that's what you're all about. But, like,
Yeah.
when did you actually realize that, I was not made for hardship? Because I say it jokingly, but I think that even me, there's limits to my softness. Like, sometimes life is just hard, and like, I want to be soft, but no, there are challenges I have to face. But you're very dedicated to that, representation of the halal soft life. When would you say it really clicked for you that, I was made for enjoyment?
So I would say, growing up, I was spoiled. So my parents didn't have a lot of money, but they made sure that I didn't have to stress over anything. There was always food. There were always snacks. Like, my dad actually shopped for snacks for the week on Saturdays or Fridays when he was coming from work. Like, he goes to ShopRite and shops all the snacks you guys will take for next week. So there was never that, I need something, or I'm stressed, or no. And then even things like house chores, and sometimes even outsourced. So I've never been that hardworking, chasing things kind of person. And even like all my aunties and uncles, like, really pampered me. When you go to your grandmother's place, that's when you get me to do some house chores. When I go to my grandmother's place, or when I used to go to my grandmother's place, she would cook for me. And
well, obviously you can't cook.
no, like she would do, like, she wouldn't even let you like peel the onions or anything. I would be a guest. Like, 6-year-old me would be a guest. 10-year-old me would be a guest. Even when I was like planning to go to uni and I went to her place for like a week, I didn't even sweep the floor once. Like, she had people doing all of that.
We had different jobs, because I'm sure some people are just looking at it. No, you're just a spoiled girl.
So that's just the thing. So like, okay, and then after going to school, like, I really had to like level up and work hard, and take care of myself and do a lot of work. And I had this side work hustle. I had a lot of jobs I was doing just to like, I felt like I was trying to build my portfolio, build my CV and all that.
Yeah.
And then I got a job in Lagos. So I think my first job was in a real estate company as a comms girl. So I was doing, so I was getting paid.
Did you do comms in school, by the way?
English.
Oh, okay.
So I was getting paid 55,000 naira for doing NYSC. I mean, it sounded like it was a big deal.
That's a lot.
It was a big deal.
In NYSC.
And this was 2018.
Is that including or excluding Alawi?
No, excluding Alawi, yeah. Like the company was paying me 55, and it was like 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
So even then, like, we get to work, and then you don't have to work for the first hour. Like, it's just 9 to 10. You're just chilling, maybe like snacking, gisting. Then you start work by 10. We actually close by 4, and we still have like that 1 hour break in between.
Yeah.
So that job was really nice. It fitted me, I was.
Your lifestyle.
Who I was. It fit me. And, I used to like wake up whatever time I liked and all. But then I got harassed by my boss, and I had to leave that job.
How do you mean by harassed?
Like, he was always hitting on me, telling me he would rent me a new apartment, wanting to go somewhere together, then telling me to take my hijab off as well. So like, when he didn't get his way with the first one, he came in with the other one. And I was a comms girl. Like, my business was write newsletters for on MailChimp and Blue, whatever, and also like do social media. Like, I was growing the social media account back then. I was doing cold calls and stuff like that. Like the Google Docs and all that. And then you come to me and say, you need me to start visiting law firms. Because it was a real estate company, so like they're trying to partner with law firms. So I'm not going out with the BDM to law firms, and you're like, well, I need to start dressing the part. I'm like, bro, this is how you hired me. You hired me in, like, they went to, because I've always been like very vocal and open about who I am.
Yeah.
So when I went to apply to the job, like the day I went for the interview, I wore the biggest jilbab I owned. Like, not even 2-piece, like full jilbab, like, that you can barely see my face. Do you understand? So when you saw that, like, this is me, this is what I wear. He didn't argue because he really wanted
Yeah.
my skills for the job.
And then
And then suddenly, like a month, 2 months in, you feel like I don't have a choice, so you start treating me differently. So I quit. I think on a Friday, I was on my way home, and then my boss drops me off like close to my house.
Yeah.
Because he was also on the way, and he said, "Oh, he doesn't want to see me in this by next
This,
week,
like your,
Monday, like my
veil.
hijab."
Yeah.
I'm like, bye, boy, bye.
Was that your resignation?
Yeah.
Boy, bye.
No, I actually wrote a resignation letter.
No, but I feel like the other one would have been much more dramatic. Like, you don't want to see me, boy, bye.
Yeah, so I had to get another job that paid less. They paid me 40K. It was like in a school. But then my boss, like, she won a cob. I was like, okay, this is safe.
Like,
this is safe.
yeah.
And then like, it was so stressful because then I had to now start waking up by 5 because I had to leave home for 6 to be at work by 7. And then like it was supposed to close by 4, but then it's a school. You eventually close like 6, and then you get home and I was sleeping by 11. I was sleep deprived, and I just knew I couldn't continue to do that. So what did I do? I got a new apartment that was like 10 minutes from work. Like I just uprooted. Like I was paying even twice the amount I was paying previously. Because when I was working 7 to 6, bro, I was falling sick my first month at work, I only showed up 3 days out of the whole month. Why? I was ill the entire time.
Because of your commute.
The commute, bro, like I was not used to all of that.
In Lagos.
I wasn't used to all of that.
But like you've always been
I've
in Lagos,
always
just
been
not
in
used
Lagos,
to,
just not with that kind of, like my dad would drop me at school. Where is all this entering bus wahala coming from?
It's funny because so I also had to commute like quite a distance, probably even longer than you had to. Like there was a time when I was working and going from Ajah to Surulere every day. So my commute is almost like 3 hours, sometimes 4 hours or more.
God.
Like when you add to and fro. So I agree, it can be quite like challenging, especially if you're not used to that. But then I get the sense that it's if you have a choice, really, that you can go for the alternative. And that's something I was going to touch on, because I'm sure people are listening and like, you're coming from a very privileged point of view. And I guess that's probably what they also think when they look at all these, ladies on Instagram with their soft girl aesthetic. And it's like, oh, you don't have problem.
I don't think so. I don't
that's
think
why.
that was the case.
I mean, but the reality is life is hard. Like, I don't know if you're in the same economy with me, but actually, so like, how do you balance that, the challenges with, but still maintaining that?
The truth is, when I moved from my 250K apartment to a 400K apartment.
What year was this?
Oh, 2019 now. 2019.
Even.
No, it's like a self-con now.
Oh, okay.
And then I got a good deal, really. So I moved, and then I moved to like the other one, and then I was getting paid 40K. So like my salary could not actually cover the rent if we're being realistic. But I was like also willing to do hard things for the soft life. Yeah. So there were other things I was doing. Like I had a business on the side that was paying my bills. My salary wasn't really paying my bills.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So there's always like that. And then I say I had allowance, yeah, so let's just be honest. But but I was always like I always was willing to like look at what options were available to me and choose like the one that works best for me. Like I'm willing to work from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. at home. That's my comfort zone. I'm happy to do that.
Rather than the stress
than
of
the
9 to 5 and jumping bus or whatever.
Yes.
And that's very interesting, because it's probably where some of the extremism around this soft life has come. You said something very important. You're willing to do the hard stuff.
Yes.
In order to enjoy the soft life that you want. Yes. Because I personally think that whole term has probably been abused. It was not sometime around when, like 4 or 5 years ago, that this whole sudden soft thing started popping on social media, with the influencers. And so for me, I feel like we're painting this picture, especially to like other ladies or young girls, that it is that easy. and they probably really do not realize the amount
It
of
is
work
not, it is not, it
that
is
goes
not.
in to be able to
It
achieve
is
that.
not at all.
So do you think that soft women, women who want to revel in that softness, is there a tendency for them to be more exploited? Either by strangers, men, even women, or like people in their lives. Are they more predisposed to being exploited in, maintaining this your soft approach to life?
Okay, so that it depends on how you go about, like what are your principles, really. And I mean, there's a facade that we all have on social media. We just show the fact that going out, I prioritize my mental health. I go out at least once or twice a week.
I wake up looking like this. Those people that you set camera in front of your bed, then go in and then wake up and look so pretty. I'm like,
I don't want to say the words that come to my head when I see videos like that. Honestly, I can't say that. I'll be cancelled. But yeah, the point is, there's just this, veil, and you don't really get to understand that. And there's also like this stereotype too that women who have beautiful lives have their lives funded by men. Honestly, I find it really offensive because the women I know in my life that have reportedly soft lives, like I have a friend who is a doctor. She works insane hours. I'm sure you know what doctors like. And she has an internship now and all, and then she doesn't get paid so well, but she buys herself flowers. Now, if my baby girl posts flowers on Instagram,
who's it from or who gave it to you?
Like, this girl is always just chilling, bro. Like she works like 36 hours with no breaks in between, just because she wants to give herself the things she likes. Yeah, she wants to be able to afford to not jump bus, to book rides and go to her favorite places. But is it deceptive
then? Because, as you said, a lot of hard stuff goes into living that soft life, but nobody shows the hard. It's just the soft that we see, that you all show us. And that's what people then aspire to. So, can you really blame people who think, this one's like... Because nobody is actually showing the actual, the background work that goes into being able to live like that.
To be honest, I believe if you're Nigerian, if you live in Lagos, your default life is hard. Default, like by default. So I don't think anybody should assume that some people have it better. Honestly, like I feel like maybe it's wrong to not... But I think sometimes people start like coming out to say, oh, I'm battling these health issues, or my job is so difficult and things like that. I think people do that sometimes now. But it's also the fact that when people see you living a so-called soft life, they tend to like trivialize your perspective on what it takes to afford some things in life. So when you say, oh, I maybe I worked extra, like, but you have a job, or you can afford it. I mean, are you not making all that money to afford the things you're doing and all that? So there's also like this bias that clouds people's judgment. But I think that most people that have those soft lives, sometimes they do like show the fact that they work hard for it.
Yeah. Because I'm going to be more serious now. Is unintentionally, I get the sense that by just and you say some people work for it. I think there's an assumption though that some people don't necessarily have the hard side of things. They don't want to stress themselves. Some people don't want to work, and there's nothing wrong with like choosing. Oh, I want to, for instance, just be a stay-at-home mom, or I don't want to use the word trophy wife because that's like a stay-at-home wife or mom or whatever. There's nothing wrong with that, but there's still some level of productivity, I think. But there are people who really don't want to do any of that. They're like, no, I'm not about this. And then I find myself questioning, aren't we like promoting or almost like encouraging where we're coming from, which is the patriarchy? Like we are already, whether we like it or not, in a man's world. It's kind of hard to be a woman. It's getting easier, but it's not easy being a woman in today's world. We're coming from, feminist agitations for like more equal access to work, equal pay, equal opportunities, policies that cater to both men and women, like all of those stuff, like the agitation for equity or equality, as you call it. But then you have like this whole generation of women who are rising up and saying, look, you can be fighting for whatever you're fighting for. Me, I'm not even interested in this hard. Like, I just want to relax and be taken care of. That's the word.
Yeah.
And I've used it myself a
Yeah.
number of times. Is it a dangerous slope that we're on, telling the other sex, especially, and telling
Yeah.
people that I
I
don't
don't want
really
to do
need,
anything,
I just
yeah.
want to.
Honestly, I have a mantra I recite to myself. You either suffer now or you suffer later. There's no in between. You see people who maybe like don't take their life seriously in their 20s, their 30s, they don't build, they don't invest. When they're 60, those are the uncles calling you every week for 5K. Do you understand? So if you don't do those hard, like if you don't lay the groundwork for something bigger in the future, then, and even the groundwork might be as, I won't say easy, but as simple as finding the right spouse. If you want to have a soft life, and you want to have it, then make sure that you're not putting your life, because I believe that marriage is putting your life in the hands of somebody else, in the hands of a man who does not have vision. So if you...
That's very, very important.
So you want to live soft life, you want to do blah, 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 then you get married to a guy that doesn't respect women, and then once the initial gra wears off, and let's say like 2, 5, 10 years into the marriage,
That's
he
too far.
abandons you.
That's 5
far,
years is far. Like the first year was the honeymoon.
It's over.
It's over.
It's just, I know of a sister who lives in Dubai. She got married to her husband, and then she was always like telling all her friends, like, people working, your man should take care of it. And she had a lot of money, she had access to so much. Her husband was making so much money, and I think after she had like 4 or 5 kids, he just one day up and married somebody else. And you know that thing where like...
Did he leave her though?
No, he didn't.
Okay.
But then when he married the other wife, first off,
who was like different.
She was even like of a different race. And then the allowance that the first wife was getting, I think she got divided into 3, first of all. Because the second wife, she was like, I think vegetarian, she only eats organic. She had all these weird things. So the guy had to spend so much more to maintain
the other wife
than even the one that had 5 kids. So there was like that first issue. Then he wasn't like really showing her all the love he was showing her initially, which is normal, because now he has to divide that emotional availability between 2 women and then the 5 kids. And she felt used. She felt bad. This is a real story. I mean, I'm not making this up. So what did she do? This lady had first class in accounting from, I think, I don't want to say what, so people don't know who we're talking about, one university in Nigeria. And she was like, she just went to do her master's.
Dusted.
Do you understand? And then she got a job. Now she's making so much money. Like, the husband I'm not saying this is right, but he can't even talk to her anymore. Because now she's now advocating for women earning.
Yeah. And still, like, even with the money, it doesn't stop you, as you said, from then still chasing the soft part of living that you want.
It doesn't.
Because that's what I'm hearing, and what I think makes the most sense is that, yes, you want that life, but there's the work that goes into achieving it.
I think,
regardless of what your circumstances are. So even if it's someone that is giving you money, it's like, even if someone was just giving you money, well, like, what are you doing? Are you investing? Are you saving?
Yes, because even when I was living by myself and I had like all the free time to do whatever I wanted, whatever soft life people were seeing, I was giving it to myself.
Yeah.
My marriage is not up to 2 years, so it's not like I just woke up and got married and then finally had the life I wanted. I was mostly giving, even till date, this may be TMI, but the money I spend on myself most of the time is my money. So like, the men have, they have like obligations to the home, the food at home. maybe your clothing to some extent.
Maintenance,
But
yeah.
then the maintenance is like based on his own level of maintenance for himself too. So
Yeah.
you can't say
But
like
I might want more.
and you know we want more. We always want more. So you should be able to like ensure that you have that money for, because your husband does not understand why you're buying vitamin C serum of 80k. Like, what is that? Your face is just fine.
We all know that vitamin C serum.
We know it.
And it has probably even gotten more expensive
Exactly.
now. Okay.
So you need to have your own 80k for your vitamin C serum. So you don't have to start writing letters and explaining why 2 plus 2 is 4. Do you understand? So it's really important to earn your own money for that soft life. Plus, having your own money also like enables you to have some kind of freedom. Yeah, to like choose. And I once saw a video where this lady was like, are you submissive because you don't have a choice? Or are you truly submissive? Like if your husband says, oh, you can't go to Qatar, is it because, do you not go because you want to respect him, or because you don't actually have money to go by yourself?
Right. Having that choice.
Yeah, so that's really important too.
Yeah. Okay. I want to go back to something that you said earlier, just around like that mindfulness and, you know, like being a Muslim or like being born into the faith. I think it's something that a lot of people can relate with. You get to, you know, a point where you start questioning things, or you start looking for more, and you know, sometimes that leads you either deeper into what you believe in, or sometimes you even find something else. I know that you weren't always Muslim.
Yes.
Right? So would it be right to say that it was you like searching for a more mindful life that led you to Islam, or like what was that about?
I'll definitely say that was one of the major reasons I became Muslim, because coming from like a religion where like, okay, there's a lot of things that were left to spirituality, and there are a lot of contradictions in the holy book, and you know, so I mean, it didn't really feel like that could have been the perfect word of God, and you know, I decided, okay, I'm just going to quit all of that and do something different. And at that point, I was just agnostic. For like 7 to 8 months, I wasn't religious at all. And then I found Islam. Initially, I was like, Islam, the Muslims I've seen, even in school, then like ladies they don't really look like the kind of person I want to be. At least the ones I maybe noticed or I paid attention to. But I think that was really shallow of me, because these were like conservative women who were not putting their lives out there. So because they didn't look like they were glamorous, it didn't mean they weren't glamorous. And you know, learning more about Islam, like meeting a couple of my friends who became Muslim in school as well, and like meeting someone who had been Muslim all her life, I started learning things like, oh, Islam teaches you how to pray. Okay, aside pray, there's like obviously a rule for praying. It teaches you how to use the restroom, how to eat, how to sleep. And at some point I sat and I thought, okay, I've been looking for something better for a while. I've not found anything. Because I knew for sure that God existed. I'd prayed to God and I got answers. So I knew for sure. But the real bone of contention was what's the right channel to reach him. And you know, this lady, she was like, oh, Islam teaches you how to even like have relationships with your neighbors. Like there's a rule that says if you're cooking and your neighbor can perceive it, you have to give them out of the food. Like is
that a rule or hadith?
It's a hadith.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think it's I like the rule. I like it as a rule. But yeah, but basically it's like this is a rule that it thinks of everything that could possibly happen. Like, okay, even if this is not from God, then I wasn't really sure. Then I think I want to explore it more, because it sounds like something that can be a perfect roadmap to life, like a manual that will definitely give you like the best option in every situation. Because when you think, like, aside spirit, like Islam tells you, this is the proof, this is the truth, believe. It doesn't just say, oh, believe.
Yeah.
There's always facts backing up the request to.
It's interesting you settled for Islam, because it's hard. It's hard. make ablution, pray 5 times a day. There are things that you can't do, which would seem as though you were giving up freedom or sacrificing. For someone who's used to, just stressless, I don't want to be disturbed. I don't want to be. How did you like manage that transition? And in terms of like then still enjoying that like soft life, but how do you do it within the bounds of the faith?
So honestly, when you think about like the things that you can't do as a Muslim, thinking about it deeply, you would realize that they are beneficial to you. Like telling you that you can't maybe wear fixed nails, like artificial nails. Whoever people who do that thing know that it eventually damages your nails to some extent. Like then you fix and then you take it off and then you have like some scratches. The nails are not really as smooth and beautiful as they were before you started. So these were things that I had to give up. But on the contrary, living, like focusing more on my natural self, like being as natural as possible, like eating healthy, taking care of my skin and things like that, those have been a much better form of like self-expression than focusing on the things that are not halal really. On the contrary, so even if I wasn't Muslim, I think I might have gotten to this point of self-realization. And I think one thing that also happens is when you don't like to go with the herd, if you're someone who, thinks, reflects, like does a lot of self-reflection, you'd realize that ultimately all these things that people are just chasing during BBLs and all doesn't really benefit you in the end. It doesn't benefit you in the end. So yeah, no offense to people who do BBLs, like that's your choice, but honestly,
well,
I feel like the side effects are not worth the value that you get here.
Yeah. So, describe a day or a weekend in the life
of
a halal soft babe.
Okay. I'm actually just going to narrate a particular day that I felt like I went all out for myself. So that day I booked a henna session, a scrub session, a steam bath session.
The whole
everything.
shebang.
And I also booked a massage session.
Aww.
So I don't know if I'm allowed to mention the places I go. Am I?
They just know that you're coming to pay us our sponsorship fee. But
okay,
go ahead.
So
let's plug the sisters. We're not gatekeepers here.
Okay, so like on a like perfect soft day, I would start off with the henna place in phase 1.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so they have the best. They scrub they get all the dead skin out and all. And after that, like they have a steam room. And the best thing is, like, because they're Muslims, they also understand that you need that privacy.
Only.
There's the aura and all of that. So, like, I get the steam room, and I'm done with the steam. And I was done with the steam room. I, got the henna and all of that. And then I went straight to Oriki for my proper...
From spa to spa.
Yeah, because, like, that's the thing. So when you've tried different spas, like, these ones have... This is their specialty. But if I want this is where... So I wanted this acupuncture thing because I felt like I'd been through a lot that month. So, and then, like, there's this thing where they just, like, massage this place, but every part of your body just comes...
Reflexology. Or is it what's it called?
I don't know. I think it's acupuncture, I mean, I don't even know. I just book acupuncture massage and I just get...
Yeah, is that the one with the needles?
No, it's just... maybe they massage these parts. Like, they just know where to touch.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I used to think it was called reflexology, but oh well.
It might be, but that's not how they list it on the website.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so just like massage your toe, and then
you're feeling it somewhere else
in your head. Oh my god, it was beautiful. After that, I took myself to my favorite amala spot.
Oh my god.
And I ended the day with the best. You see the amala spray, like all the intestines, all those special things inside. And
I'm hungry. I'm getting hungry. Please stop that.
Yes, I would say, yeah, like maybe... I made my hair first before going. So my hair salon also is in phase 1. And think about, like, when I go to the salon, I just bring myself there. They do everything. I take myself home. When I need to change it, I take it there. They take it down.
Yeah, no, I
They
agree.
treat it. They
Before
put
you
it
find
back.
someone who will losing your hair or
Me, I would
yeah.
never lose in my hair. I'm sorry. So like, I make money so that other people can do the hard work for me.
Oh shit. That's a quote. But I'm listening to you and like I don't know if we're living in the same economy.
Oh, come
I was
on.
about to say describe the name of the economy, but my producer have warned me. So I mean we're all living it's hard. Things are it's all sounding like some very privileged luxury, like you have to have certain about your but not everybody can like so how can you only live the soft life if your account is flush?
My account's actually flush.
Well, tell us.
I don't think it is,
Is
though,
it?
bro. Like, I look at my account. If I tell you how much is my account right now, you'll be like, how are you? How do you plan to get by tomorrow? And do you understand? But once you ensure that your bills are paid, like, and then this is a case where you also need to think of, okay, what can I afford? Like, you have your income, you know how much you make. Even if you're a businessman, you know how much your typical profit in a month is, and you know, okay, this is what I'm allocating to food, to rent. Something that we also like don't do. Nigerians, we don't really save towards rent. I don't know, for some reason, that's like, oh my God, rent isn't too much. That's
Then you start
scrambling.
panicking.
So like there's this budgeting thing I learned in 2018. So where you have 50% for like essentials, will be your food and your rent. Then that's 20% food, maybe 30% rent. Then the other 50% like bills, other bills like your light bill, your water bill, and then like maybe savings as well. Then investments. Then black tax. Please, we know black taxes. So I have a friend. Do you know she does this thing where she knows like, Chigozie will always ask me for money. So Chigozie's budget for the
So
month
she has budgeted it
is 10,000. Even if he asks me and says his neck broke,
it's 10,000 I have. Yeah.
So sometimes she even like gives him like batches like 3K today, 4K. So he feels like he's making so much.
So what's the enjoyment percentage?
Budget? I can't share that, sorry. But there's definitely an enjoyment percentage.
I think it's common
there.
sense.
Yes. So
your enjoyment budget should be common sense. Like, what am I going to spend on that I will not be on the street?
There was this time when I was making like, I think I mentioned earlier, I was making like 40K at a particular job, and at that job, I looked at that 40K and I was like, how much can I spend to go to the mall, to eat, to get ice cream, and just chill, get pizza and all of that. And then things were a lot more affordable. This is 2018, 2019, 2020. So my budget was like 5,000 naira every week. And the truth is, forget food and all that. I was really a fan of eating a lot. So even maybe in the week, all I spend on food is like 3K or something. So the 5,000 naira was like, this is the money I'm taking to the mall to take care of myself.
Enjoy myself.
So maybe like 5,000 naira, I think every 2 weeks, not every week, just to splurge. And then splurging was cheap. Like even these ice creams are like maybe 2 liters or like maybe 2K, 3K then. So it was quite easy to do that.
So it's not until you're earning, in the
hundreds
of thousands.
Just think, okay, what is important to you?
Yeah,
like
it's a state of mind, isn't it?
Like there are cheap pedicure services. I know someone who does 3K pedicure. And she does a good job. She'll do it and then she'll give you a good massage.
Yeah.
So if you're willing to like look around you.
Yeah. And for some people it's a lot of things. It's not just the pamper or like eating out. For some people it's actually like, networking. So is it going out to places where you can meet people?
Exactly.
Or is it just taking care of yourself and being able to afford a gym subscription? So for like different people, it means different things.
Sorry to sound so all about myself, but really you should read my book. Like I talk about like networking, being a social butterfly, and what that means as a Muslim woman. Because there's also like the fact that, okay, you can't go to every event. So how do you determine what you can do, where you can go? And then you also need to, some people, like being a soft life girl doesn't mean being a slow, laid back person. Honestly.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you need to also think
about... It's just feminine energy.
Yeah, and also like advancement is key, because if you want to be able to afford to grow, like if you want to be able to move from 3K spa to 15K spa, you also need to think, okay, how can I increase my income?
Yeah.
That's also part of it. Like being a soft life babe also has a lot to do with like your smart thinking, your mental, cognitive
You have to
strength
find
and
where
all
the
of that.
money for that enjoyment will come
Exactly.
from.
Like talk to your boss, get a raise, take on more responsibility at work and things like that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
If you had a superpower, what would it be? If you could have a superpower.
I have to think. Okay. If I could have a superpower, it would be.
I mean, I want to be able to read people's minds. Like,
I was actually
I
going to
wa-
say that, but now it sounds like I'm saying exactly what you said.
sorry, like I want to hear people's thoughts. Like, what are they saying or thinking about me?
I think it would be the ability to have my thoughts, like, visualized in front of me. Like, to think about something and see it.
Like, example.
Like, think about, let's say maybe, I have to like visualize properly.
Yeah. Because like as it comes,
Like maybe like picture a place.
Mm-hmm.
Or picture like maybe a business idea I have, like how's it going to run, what's the shop going to look like, and just see it.
Like as a model.
Yeah, because I think one of the issues that maybe I think like everybody has is thinking something's going to work, and then like when it eventually happens, it doesn't look. So being able to like visualize, like just use my eyes to just
make the decision.
Yeah, and just make it and see it in real time. Like, okay, this is exactly how it looks. Because I think one of the things I do every day, like visualize my ideal day and my ideal life. So it's important to me to be able to like see. So I don't just like, so you're not just like working for something and then you don't really get to see the results.
The results of it. Okay, well, this has been interesting.
Yeah.
Sumaya, thank you so much.
I've literally like spilled out my guts on everything about my life at this point. I feel like I'm no longer mysterious.
Mystery is overrated, please. Mystery is overrated. Like all this, be a mysterious woman, like. Can we all just?
I'm actually happy to do it. I'm happy to do it. I'm happy. And talking to you has been so much fun.
Yeah, I'm so glad to hear that. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I hope all the soft babes out there enjoy this episode. Till next time, please like, share, subscribe. Continue to enjoy life, love, faith on your terms. Bye.